What's up, everybody? Looks like we're getting that fifth wave to the downside, and we just got somewhat of a strong bounce to the upside. So when we look at the price, I guess you could say 1, 2, all of this is 3, this is 4, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we have divergence between the fourth and the fifth? Yes, we do. And do we have 5 waves in this impulse that you see right here? Let's take a look. Let's zoom in and see the wave definition. And to me, it looks like that is an impulse. We have a 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C running flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, perfect. So yeah, now we're back to this area here. We sort of broke down from yesterday, and so what do we want to look for, right? Well, if this gets rejected violently, we'll know. But what we really want to see is it start to flag out in here. We want a little bit of an ABC pullback. So if I put on a retracement, as long as XRP stays above 55 cents or so, I say we're doing pretty good. So yeah, we could come down here and get a 618 retrace, or just simply flag out near the top, sort of consolidate here. I'm looking for more upside, so I want to see a pullback just a little bit, right? And then get another wave to the upside. Looks like we have a shoulder ahead. Let's create this right shoulder here. So so far so good. And then also you look at all of this bullish divergence. Low, lower, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? But more so than that, if I go to the 1 hour chart, it's very strong there. And let's see, is it on the 4 hour chart? It's not on the 4 hour chart. So, but let's look at Theta here. We got a little bit here. It's not very strong, but it's there. So for Theta, yesterday we were discussing. Actually, let's go to the 4 hour chart. Perfect. So yesterday we were right in here discussing the possibility of it being a fourth wave, right? So 1, 2, 3. We come up here for 4, and then boom, 5. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some kind of diagonal, but I wouldn't be so sure about that. I think there's a good chance that this divergence is played out, right? So if anything, if we do make one more slightly lower low, I would look at it as kind of like a falling wedge type, or actually an ending diagonal. So then a breakout, a back test, and a continuation. But if we don't roll over and get that low, it's still cool, right? We still have divergence between 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So yeah, we have divergence between the third and the fifth, so everything looks good. So let's zoom in to let's go to the 20-minute chart here. Yeah, let's look a little bit closer. So I don't really like the recovery wave as much. I mean, we do have 5 waves though. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC. And then we have, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it seems a little bit corrective. So I would look at this as 3, right? So I want to see if we can break out of here. We got a cup and handle going on. We're kind of cupping into the resistance, So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing starts to break out. Let's see here. So total 3. You know, we're getting kind of close up here to this previous resistance. So I would expect it to sort of consolidate in here, right? And then break out. That's what we want. If it breaks out pretty fast, then I would look for it to come back and retest this area. But as far as what's going on now, I want to see it kind of trend sideways a little bit, find some support, get a little ABC, flag out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. Let's get an ABC pullback and then continue higher. So, you know, when you look at total 3, right, we were talking about this yesterday as well, and this is actually really perfect. This is a perfect wave here. We got perfect 1, 2, 3. Look at that. That's perfect. 4 and 5. So it's boom, and we came right back to you know, this sort of this back test zone right here. And we want to, like I said yesterday, this is the, you know, when we come down here, we want to hold in here. As long as we hold in here, we're doing pretty good, right? So we came up in 5 waves here in this diagonal, and then we had a 3-way pullback, and then we had another pump to the upside, and then we pulled back, retesting all of these areas. So I'm wondering if it could be part of a bigger one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, without breaking this low, and let's come up here and let's get 5. And then there's your leading diag, and then we flag A, B, C, and then we continue higher. And this could be kind of like, you know, a cup and handle in here a little bit, and then continue working through here and then break out. So that's the idea, right? That's not financial advice. That doesn't mean that's going to happen. We can go to 0. Who knows? But this is what I'm thinking here, provided we hold this backtest area, right? Because what did we talk about yesterday? 5 waves down. Boom, we got it. We got divergence between the 3rd and the 5th. And this wave that's pumping right now looks impulsive. And I like how, you know, when you look at it from a fractal perspective, remember the CRV chart, how it kind of comes down, right? Like this, 1, 2, and it comes down in 3. And what does it do? It builds a base in here. And it's support, 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 bouncing, bouncing. And then what happens? It falls through, gets everybody panicked, people go short, but then it comes back up into it. So here's the kicker, here's the trick, right? Here's the big trick. Do we get rejected here? This is where, you know, I would expect to find some resistance, but if we start impulsing back down, this is just going to be a back test of this breakdown with continuation to the downside. But I don't know about that. I think it, you know, we'll have to wait and see, but let's see if we can get like a little bit of a correction, ABC in here, a little bit of a shoulder, head, another shoulder. Let's carve out this right shoulder. Let's break out, let's back test, let's continue getting out of here, because we have the, you know, we have a low, and then we have a slightly lower low, and we have that, do we have that divergence here on the, yeah, look at that, it's very strong on the 1 hour. So yeah, I think, you know, that's the idea. That's what we want to see. And let's get going up here. And then once we get up here in the retracement levels, then that's where that's where we have to reevaluate. Are we going to get through that, or do we got to come back down and this be an ABC? ABC. Because that first wave could always be a trap. Where are traps usually at? B wave and X wave, right? So if it's a B wave, or an X wave, we'll know, right? Because you'll run into trouble up here. But I would expect it to run up into some trouble anyway. It's all about how the price reacts to that trouble. Does it reset bullishly? There's things you got to look for. But even if it did come all the way back down here, we would have 3 up, W, 3 down, right? Or A, X, and then we would come up for a Y, some kind of 3-way move, 333 or ABC. But yeah, I mean, this wave is doing exactly what we thought. Now, this thing could get really impulsive. Like if it starts breaking out even further and challenging these highs and then we flag out, I mean, that could be a situation too, right? That would be actually even better, right? Let's break out even further, get back up to here, maybe even break that a little bit, but then kind of flag out in here and continue higher. So that's what I'm thinking here. That's what I think is going on. Now, how do we know if that's wrong? Well, if this comes down, right, maybe has a 3-wave shape up here, we get rejected here, we come down, right, we break this area again, we come up, we get rejected again, we start coming down. These are going to be your 2 indicators. Okay, maybe we got to continue rocking to the downside. So there's always downside risk, but this could be some kind of bigger 1, 2. All of this is 3, and you have some sort of flat here, 3, 3, 5, like that, and then come down. This could be a bigger flat in here too, right? So that's another thing you gotta think about. But not to get so complex, it's Friday, so probably not too much entertainment Saturday, Sunday. It's all going to be about Sunday evening and how this resets itself. How is it posturing into next week? Because I think September should be a good month. I think it's historically hasn't been, but it's really been copying, I think, 2016. So if you look, right, September is going to be it's going to be green in here. So maybe we get a massive rally that lasts a month and a half, right? And then the second half of October, we start going down, causing the close of October to be red, November red, and December red. So how would that look? Well, zooming out on the chart, I mean, we really, if you fast forward to like the second half of October, you really don't have much time. But so, and that's approximately about 42 days left, maybe. So we'll just say 50 days, right? So if you take a measurement and just take it anywhere, let's say like right here, and we go up 50 days, I mean, that's that's a pretty big rally there in 50 days. I mean, basically what I'm saying is a lot could happen in 50 days, so if that thing's going to hold true. Usually October, November, December are bullish months for crypto, especially November and December, and then also spring. So I'm just wondering how it's going to play out, considering that it's been playing out like 2016. I mean, basically month for month, right? I mean, all of these months are perfect. So what are the statistical probabilities that it's going to continue doing that, right? I mean, look at this. We had red, red, red. We had 3 reds in a row. So if that's the case, and we've been correcting for the last 150 days, right, then we should get a green in September, right? And maybe, hopefully even October, and then finish out red, red. I mean, this thing could shoot up to 1.5 trillion if it wanted to in that time frame. So, I mean, it's, done it before, or at least percentage-wise, I should say. Where I think it's heading, if we break that all-time high, well, the first would be the 1618, which would come in, let's see. Yep, that's about 1.6 trillion or so. So right about there. So can we hit that at least by the end of the year? Absolutely. And especially the way it's postured. I mean, look how beautiful this is reacting. I mean, you have a touch point here, 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 another one there, and another one. I mean, it's like perfect. And then also the down sloping part is also pretty perfect. So the way it's shaped is just got that slingshot look where you have this huge impulse and now you're just slingshotting back and you're getting ready to sort of just bust out of here. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Now, it could take a lot longer than we think. It could go up, maybe come back down, and build a base somewhere over here after going into a retracement, some kind of like running flat if it wanted to take its time, right? Breakout, back test, base, break. But typically these things go pretty fast, so we'll see. But there's always that risk that we could go down into reaccumulation between this, really between here. So I would say between these 2 points, but it just doesn't look like it's what's going on. It's just hard. I mean, if you rolled over again, I would expect kind of a 3 and then maybe continue going into reaccumulation like that. It's just basically taking a lot longer, right? It has to sort of round itself out. Reaccumulation versus 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave expansion. But even if we had to go through all of this, we would still get a big alt season later on. It would actually be even bigger than this one. The reason why is because if we went through reaccumulation, it would reset the momentum. Because you might think, oh, what momentum? We've been going down for a while. But look at all of this. We've been going up actually since the beginning of 2023. Here's January 2023. If I just draw a line from January 2023, and then all the way up to January 2024, we're going up, 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 right? So, and then fast forward today, we're still, making low, higher low, higher low, right? So we're in an uptrend. We have been since January of 2023. So the big question is this trend going to reset itself by going into reaccumulation and resetting that momentum, which will inevitably push the price much, much higher than if it were to just go now, right? Because think about if we did go sideways in here, right? Think about all the people buying. And that's what happened over here. Same thing happened over here, but a little bit different. We didn't have such a big retracement. We had a crash, we had a retracement, we came down into reaccumulation, and then we went sideways in here for a while. It wasn't perfect, but we sort of flagged out more. And we had our reaccumulation and we continued higher. But we had this because it didn't build a base. It came straight down, straight back up, and then it had like, a higher low. For what we see today, we have a big base down here, right? It wasn't an automatic reversal when we got down here. So look at this base right here. This base, we put in a lot of work. in here. Every day we put in time. And time equals structure. And structure equals support. Support equals long-term sustainability, right? So, and then also it gives us a bigger platform to work with. So, you know, so all of this correcting, we might not need to come down into reaccumulation because we already did so a lot back over here. Maybe this bullish pullback is enough. And that's what I believe. I believe it was enough. I believe this is going to break out. But if we do go into reaccumulation, whatever. I mean, that's just what that's what will happen. But at the end of the day, you know, it. What choice do we have, right? Crypto is the golden ticket to, I believe, if you play it right and hodl, I think it's the golden ticket to being in a much better position than we are right now. Put it that way. And rather if we get that fifth wave, or rather if we have to go into some kind of reaccumulation schematic because of some black swan event, because of the election, because the deep state wants to cause chaos and carnage and World War III and whatever else they're trying to put out there. At the end of the day, crypto is going to prevail, utility is going to rise, and with that price. And so, yeah, I think no matter what, we're going to get an alt season. It's just about when it happens. When does it come? That's the big question, right? We all know it's going to happen eventually at some point. We just don't know when. But, you know, for me, I think it should happen sooner rather than later. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, XRP. Now, XRP, look at this. It's bullish. I mean, it did exactly what we thought, which is what? Remember when we were up here? I said this is probably a B wave. So look at it. I mean, to me, it looks bullish. Look at this. We have an impulse to the upside. We have a beautiful three-way pullback. This is a nice flat. Look how nice and symmetrical that is. And then what did it do? Right? When we were up here, I said we're probably going to come back down and retest the bull market support band. And that's exactly what we did. See the green line right there? If I just take another line and go up, look at that. You can see we pinpoint nailed it. And that's exactly what we wanted. Now, that doesn't mean the bottom is in necessarily, but that's a good sign that we're strong and we're bullish, right? Because this is, you can say, well, it doesn't feel bullish, we're going down. Well, that's because this is a C leg, right? A C wave is bearish when you're in an uptrend. So we had wave A, here's wave B, here's wave C, A, B, C, perfect. Now, inside of wave C, we want 5 waves. Do we have it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Do we have divergence between the third and the fifth? Not really. No, we don't. Not on the 4-hour chart. What about, let's say, the 2-hour? Yes, we do on the 2-hour. And definitely on the 1-hour. The 1-hour looks really nice. We actually had, I think, almost triple divergence there. And then what else did we have? We had a huge impulse that took out the previous degree of this wave here, right? Now, you would really want it to take the top of the 4th wave out, but I think that's coming. So, you know, and if we examine this wave like we just did in the beginning of the video, let me go to this chart right here and zoom in, take that off there. Yeah, so you can see that wave, and maybe we're doing another roundabout. I mean, that's how you kind of round out a little bit, and then you kind of come down, you go sideways, and then you break out, something like that, or at least flag out or at least give us an ABC, or even a 618 retrace. So this is your wave 1. Let's get wave 2. This is where we buy, wave 2. But we only buy if this comes down correctively and it gives us a good setup. And we don't go all in, we dollar cost average. So let's say we buy, and then boom, we get 5 waves up on the small time frames. Then when it resets itself 3 waves back, maybe add a little bit more. And then we get that third wave. You see what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, right? So it's like you're going to Vegas and you're counting cards, but why would you go to Vegas and count cards and be a schmuck and lose? Because we don't know how to do that, or at least I don't. Or you can count waves and actually have a better shot. I can never understand gambling in Vegas. You know, your odds are so terribly against you, massively, where at least crypto you have a 50-50 chance. I mean, it's either going to go up or it's going to go down. So, you know, you got a chance, right? So you can short it and hope that it goes down, or you can buy it and hope that it goes up. But at least it's going to do one of those things and then watch it just go sideways forever. But hey, at least you're not losing, right? And what do we say about sideways? Sideways is good because there's not one rally in the history of charts that led, at least one of the biggest rallies that led into a sideways movement. Like this rally here. See that huge rally? It was sideways, right, before we blasted that rally. Same thing here. We went sideways for a little bit before that rally came. So, you know, that's sideways is good. But I think that's about it for today. Let's keep looking at the small time frames. We know the risk. We know the reward. We'll touch back on it. Maybe even on Sunday for the weekly close. By the way, let's look at the weekly candle since we're here. So the weekly candle, we had this bullish hammer candle here, and then it sort of led up, and then we had this bullish engulfing candle that hit the bull market support band, and then we have this red candle here that's sort of retesting it on the bottom. So as long as we can hold this base here, or the bottom of the order block, so right here at 559K, right? So as long as we can hold that and close above it, I'm just looking at it as a back test here, right? And then the next candle, depending where it opens, hopefully it opens a little bit higher, will probably come up and retest the top, right? And then maybe the next candle we can break out. So something like that I would assume if we're looking at candles. So it'd be I'm just watching this sort of bull market, or this downward resistance line here. So yeah, somewhere right around there. And look at the bull market support band is also right in there. So we have a lot of resistance. We have the bull market support band weighing over our shoulders. We have the downward resistance line, right, weighing over our shoulders. And we also have the top of these waves here, right, or lower low also. But we do have this. Actually, I'd have to go to Theta to show you that as a good example here. Look right there. We have the beautiful 2-week 9 buy, a very rare buy signal. It's only happened 2 other times in history for Theta. and both of those times led to massive rallies, but not right away. It takes a little time. But this one is the only perfected 9. Theta has never had a 2-week perfected 9 buy. And I would have wanted the 9 to actually be where the 8 candle is, considering that wick right there. But as long as it's sort of, you know, side by side here, it's kind of building an order block, right? You know, and it's also, that order block is where, right in the back test zone. So 2-week 9 buy in the back test zone, right? And then we just talked about the small time frames. So this 2-week red candle is retesting 50% of this green candle, which is something we discussed, right? When if anytime you have a big candle down and that candle comes right back up to the top of it, the following candle is likely going to retest it, right? So like I always say, you just take the candle, you cut it in half, and look at that. That's right where we went. So, you know, the following candle can cut, you know, let's cut this one in half, right? And then if we continue pumping up, this candle will cut that one in half, right? I mean, they like to do that, overlapping. But then once you break out, it's sort of, you get something like this where you're just impulsing. So, but yeah, this is a good 2-week 9 buy signal. Let's go. I will take it easy. I'm gonna just relax. Got this video out pretty late today, but anyways, I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.